Alright, so hi guys, today I am gonna be putting in 2 pockets in this skirt. A customer just bought it to me and asked if I can put 2 pockets in. This is the side seam. There are no pockets here, so she wanted me to put 2 pockets. I started ripping this side, so what I'm going to do is just going to open both sides down a bit. Then I'm going to come back and show you how I put the pockets in. It's very easy. The good thing is that it has a seam, so I don't have to struggle to create an opening. Right, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. So I'm finished opening the sides. What I did, I opened it down to a certain distance, and the good thing about this skirt as well, it has the band joined onto the lower half of the skirt. So this piece here, this seam right here, I'll be able to stitch the top of the pocket here, which would cover. When I do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to press the seam open here. So what I'm going to do now, put that aside. This is something I had here for a while. So this end I'm going to use, as you can see, it's all ripped and everything. So I'm going to use this end to create the pocket. Alright, so I have this pillowcase that I can use, and I'm going to use this lighter color here, or I'm going to use it on this side. And if you notice, it's close enough just for the facing of the pocket, you know, because what I'm going to do is use this lighter piece here for the bag of the pocket, because if I use this straight onto that, it's too obvious, and when you're wearing the skirt you don't want to see that white, you know, that piece coming up from the side. So let's just get started here. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this down. Okay, so these are the 2 pockets that I just cut. So I'm gonna use this piece of fabric here just to put on the side. This is the skirt. That's the skirt, and what I need to do is get the measurement from this seam. Let me bring this closer. Okay, so what I need to do is to get the measurement from right under the waistband here. Alright, and then I am going to come down about 3.5 centimeters. That's about 1.5 inches. I'm going to place the pin right here. So basically the pocket is going to start from below the 3.5 mark. And then I think 7 inches is about enough for the side pocket for the lady. So that's 7 inches. It's about 17 and a half centimeters. Alright, so what I'm going to do is to put a pin right here, and I'm going to put it right at 17 centimeters because I think that's perfect. Okay, if you want your pocket wider for your hands to go through, then you extend the length, but that is perfect for now. This seam on the waist, the top of the pocket, that's where that is gonna stitch, you know, that kind of help the pocket to stay in place. Right, so if I didn't have, alright, so say for example, let me turn it here. This is the band of the waist, and you can see the seam right here. That's this waistband seam. So if I didn't have that seam, what I would have done, instead of cutting a pocket like this, the pocket would have been cut like that, and then this would be on the side seam. Next time I make this type of pocket, then I'll show you guys, but for now let's just continue with this. Okay, so on these pockets here, so on these pockets I'm going to be marking down the same 1.5 inches. Alright, so that's 3.5 centimeters. And then the 17 right here. I'm gonna do is just to notch these pieces so I know exactly the distance of my pocket. Right? Alright, so now I'm going to take this piece that I got from the pillowcase. As a seamstress, I don't throw away any fabric, and that's from time. And now it's even more, it makes more sense now. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just take these pieces that I cut and place them down onto the pocket lining. Alright, so I'm just going to pin that in place, and I'm going to do one of the pockets and let you see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll grab another piece and I place it down here as well. Make sure to cut the pieces long and wide enough so when you put it, it stays down. I mean, it fits right across here nicely. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is just trim the excess. So the next thing I'm going to do is just turn these pieces under. Alright, so just turn that under like that. Alright, so this is all you need really. I'm gonna go and thread the machine, and then when I'm ready to stitch it, I'll come right back. Alright, so I've finished threading the machine, and I'm just gonna stitch these facing down. Alright, so I'm finished stitching this down. So I'm gonna show you how I do the pocket. Alright, so this is the pocket here that I just finished stitching. So now I'm going to take the skirt, and remember when we measure down that 3.5 centimeters, and from here we measure down 17. You're just going to find where you notch, which is right here. That's the 3.5. Make sure that these two notches, they are lined up, and you pin that right there, and you do the same for this other one. Alright, what we're going to do is to stitch right from here to there, and this is where your opening is to put your hand in. It's notch all the pieces where you stitch right from this point to that point. So what you're going to do now is just basically turn this around, and I'm going to press this. Make sure the seam is facing that end, so when you fold the pocket over, it's facing the pocket. Alright. You can give that a top stitch, and that would also keep that seam in place on that end. Alright, so as you can see here, see, once you stitch that down, it stays down nicely. Okay, so you're going to bring the seams out. Just this bit, you're just going to bring that out like that. Okay, and then you press again. If you notice, there's a thread pulling here on the skirt, so I'm going to turn this onto the wrong side, and I'm just going to pull this through. Right. Alright, so now it's pulled through, you don't see that anymore. Right, so that is done so far. I'm just going to put a pin just to hold this down right in the sides here. All right, so what you can do, you can close this pocket up two ways. You can turn it like this, and you can close it up by stitching here and then give it an overlock. If you don't want that type of finish, you turn it onto the opposite side and you do a stitch right here. You turn it out and then you do a top stitch. Alright, so that's done. And the next thing I'm going to do is just turn it onto the opposite side. Okay, so the pocket is finished right here. Okay. So we have that nice finish with the pocket here. So I'm going to turn the skirt onto the wrong side. Alright, and bring the sides together. Once you have the sides together, making sure you match the side seams. So that's the waistband right there. So now we're going to make sure, see what we're going to do, leave that open for now. Okay, you leave that open for now because you're going to focus on right here. So you stitch that down nice and neat. Okay, you do the same thing over here. Alright, so I'm gonna go over to the machine, and what I'm gonna do is this waistband seam, make sure the seams are turned up, because we're not ready to close that out yet, right? And we're going to start right below the seam here, down here, and you're going to come here, back stitch, and you go down here, right? So what you're going to do here is the waistband, so you're just going to stitch right here down to where the notch is. Okay, so this is what I did. I stitch from this notch just down a bit, not fully to the end, because we have to put this down in order to complete that. And at the top here, from this notch, just a bit from the side, from the seam. Okay, and also from the top of the waist, just above the waistband seam here. Okay, so you do your checks. See, this is all right. And the next thing I am going to do to complete the pocket is bring this over, and as you can see, everything is lined up nicely here. I'm going to also put a pin here and one here, and a couple pins right in the middle, just to keep that in place, so when you stitch the band here, it will be correct. All right, so now we have the top of the pocket, that rough edge, and this is the waistband seam. So now what we're going to do here is put this onto that, join that onto that, and just give it a stitch here, and also overlock that. All right, so just check your pocket to make sure, just to make sure it's nice and flat. So I'm going to go to the machine and stitch right across the waistband here. Once I'm finished, I'm going to overlock, and then I am going to stitch the side down and also overlock that. Alright, so this is the pocket, and I think it looks good. I'm going to press it down so I get a better finish. Okay, and this is the pocket right here. Right, and I think this is fine for what the lady is looking for. Alright, so that's it. I'm gonna finish overlock the seam right here and also do the other pocket, and then I'll come right back and I'll show you both of them. So I finished putting in the pockets, and this is one side pocket here and this is the other. Right, it was quite easy to put in, and as you can see here, the color of the lining on the pocket here is very similar to the skirt itself, so it's not too far off. So say if it opened up a bit, it wouldn't look too bad. Do you know what I mean? So that's fine. Then this is the pocket bag. Alright, so that's that. So when she put this on, she'll feel comfortable with pockets. And I love pockets myself, so anything I make has to have pockets. So alright, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.